What's up, guys? It's your boy James, aka 68J, coming to you on this Sunday evening, and I'm joined by some of my brothers in the crypto space. My man Josh is in the house, aka Mad Kitten. We got Nestforce in the house, one of our Crypto4Life family members. Josh is one of our ambassadors for Chicago, and also one of our ambassadors and one of our members for Crypto4Life. And then my longtime friend for almost 40 years. His mom was my first job at like 13, 14 years old. And he's a big time motivational speaker, traveled the world. Actually, if you looked at the thumbnail, you'll see he was out there hanging out, like hugging Donald Trump. He's done a lot of big business, became like a phenom at like 19 years old and has done some incredible things, multimillionaire in real estate. And also has made a tremendous amount of money in crypto. My man, the myth, the legend, John Singh. What's up, brother?
What's up, big bro? Thanks for having us on.
Oh, absolutely, man. So we're going to be talking everything crypto today, guys. Obviously, we've seen a bit of a pullback. The numbers right now are running up crazy. I think we've been on for all but a minute and 48 seconds. And we're already at 500 people live on X. So the numbers are running up pretty crazy. Definitely make sure you guys go over to our YouTube page, hit the like notification bell, all that good stuff. We're going to actually show you guys that here actually before we go ahead and get on. If you guys do me a huge personal favor, if you're joining for the first time, our page is called Crypto4Life with your boy James, aka 68J. I've been in crypto since 2017, documenting my journey in the evolution of money. Now, they've tried to shut our channel down about 3 times. We've been shadow banned and all that, but it doesn't matter. We're still running strong. We've actually done, if you guys go check out Crypto4Life, we've had some of the most prolific video interviews in all of the space. And I believe we probably had more people in the XRP space than anybody else. So again, we've been running for about 2 years and 2 months with our own channel. Before that, I was co-hosting on some other channels. But if you look at our videos, guys, absolutely phenomenal. Everybody from Zach Rector, Lewis Jackson, Molly Elmore, Linda P. Jones, and all the biggest names in the space. So definitely go by, check us out. Crypto4Life with your boy James, aka 68J. We'll appreciate you guys in a major way. Now, with that being said, guys, let's talk about what's happening right now. Now, just before I actually went live, I think I told you guys, I saw this tweet, and I don't know if this is real, but we're going to go ahead and show it, guys. I don't know if you guys caught this in the X world here, but there's a tweet that was put out that says rumor. Well, this is what I put out. Rumor. People are saying that Elon Musk tweeted about XRP today. Is it true or is it bullcrap? Can anyone confirm? It says folks said on X it was up for about 20 seconds. Was it a hack? Was it real? So then I actually went out and I looked on, I actually went and asked Siri, was there anything with Elon and X? This article popped up. And then I also shared this gentleman here. I guess what he's saying is he asked maybe Chat GPT or something. It says, did Elon make a tweet about XRP today and then delete it? And then the answer was yes. Elon Musk briefly tweeted about his trading strategy for X. I don't know. This just doesn't even sound right. But the post was deleted 20 seconds later. I don't know who he asked, if this was like Chat GPT or like Chat Homeboy. Maybe it's like a new Homeboy app or something. I don't know. It just doesn't sound right. But there is a link here. So if you open up the link here, let me see if I can actually pull it up here. I don't know if this is even incredible. This is even a credible source or not. Let me see if I can share this right here. Let me see if I can share this link here, guys. Give me a second here. All this stuff is popping. It might just be a crap deal here. Let's see here. Give me a second. Before I get you guys into answering some questions here and talking about everything, let's take a look at this. Where is it at? It is right here. Elon tweet fuels. So I'll see if you got. So here it is right here. It says, again, this could just be crap. I see all kinds of crap popping up on my damn computer. So it says, Elon Musk fuel speculation at 7:27 p.m. Maybe that's we got some background noise, guys. So it says January 26, 2025, the community reacted with February when Elon Musk briefly tweeted about his trading strategy for XRP, only for the post to disappear 20 seconds later. This sudden removal has prompted widespread speculation. Now, I mean, look, if this was true, there's 2 things. One is in 20 seconds, somebody would have took a damn screenshot. I don't know if that's enough time. And then if he did tweet, I would think that would be bullish is held for XRP, and then maybe it would have ran up. So what do you guys think about this? Anybody can answer. Do you think this is BS or just legit? I don't even know what this source is right here, but it is an article talking about it. But anybody could have started this, guys. Who knows? So what are you guys' thoughts on this? Could this be legit?
I'm not sure how the retweets and the quote tweets work on X, if they get erased when the original post gets erased. But if they don't, obviously it would still be out there somewhere.
Yeah. So the original tweet may go away, and access to anything that references it goes away, but the person's tweet that retweets it stays. So like if you put a picture up and somebody shares it, the picture goes away. That original goes away, but the reference there stays. So unless you screenshot it, if you directly share that picture and then the original poster takes it away, then that post goes away, but your tweet referencing it can stay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it literally shocked me, and that's why I was a little bit late. And shouts out, man, this is going crazy. We've been on for 6 minutes and 52 seconds. 1,400 people watching live on X. Shouts out to you guys. I appreciate it. I don't know if you guys can see this, everybody that's here, but there's a live deal here on my deal, and it shows how many eyes are actually watching this live. It's actually approaching 1,500 right now. It's going crazy. So definitely shouts out to the community. So, this kind of made me late because right as I was preparing, I told you guys I would be on early, send you guys a link about 10 minutes in advance. And then all of a sudden, this thing came out on X, and I'm trying to dig, and I'm asking ChatGPT. I'm like trying to figure it out. So I don't know how relevant this is, but man, this would be huge if something like that happened. I know there's been a lot of speculation about who he would use for his X payments, going on with X and everything else. Some people think because of his relationship with Jeb McCaleb back in the day, it could be XLM, right? Stellar. Some people are insinuating that he has some ties into Ripple and XRP. It's kind of hard to say, guys. You guys got any opinions on it? As we're now just approaching 1,600 people live. Good Lord. Shouts out to all the people. Thank you guys for being here. But any thoughts on that before we get into the meat and potatoes of this stream?
I think when we play into speculation, if the person's tweet isn't there anymore, it's really hard to validate it. This digital age, anybody can put anything up and say, "Oh, this happened," and unless you have something to reference, it's really hard to stand on.
So even when we see this article, Josh, you think this is crap? Like somebody posted this crap? Could this be like some kind of like
absolutely? It could be something that's just it's fueled by somebody designing something that's just to put FOMO out there, or to hype up the XRP community when Bitcoin and the XRP battles going on right now. All it takes is somebody to Photoshop even a post, make it look like he tweeted it. Here, I got the screenshot to prove it. But unless the original's there, it's really hard to prove.
Well, crypto EOF is saying that it's on Gronk. Lots of love. It's true. I mean, it's kind of, who knows?
That's the other thing too. Is like if his own AI is saying, "Hey, that he posted it up," then it's possible.
Okay,
but it's AI. AI gets it wrong, and
so Dustin Mackey said Gronk said no. So there's all these different.
Yeah. So it really depends on, number one, how the question is asked. Because I just asked ChatGPT. ChatGPT says yes, but then all the references are of other people's tweets that say that Elon made a controversial post today. So AI can get it wrong, right?
Well, okay,
it's only as good as information that's put in. And if people are putting false information in there, then it's going to be false.
Right. Okay. Well, guys, let's get right into it. And it's amazing because I know John, you have, shout out to my brother John, I know for 40 years, you have had some relationship with Donald Trump. You've done some business with him. And let's just start with, we'll kind of get into the whole BTC Maxis versus XRP versus strategic reserve, and all these other things, these topics that we have. But let's get into just how do you guys feel? We're 5 days, I guess 6 days now into, I said 5 days because of business days, but 6 days now into Donald Trump being elected our president of the United States. I'm super excited, guys. To me personally, it feels like a dark cloud is lifted from this country. It feels like God is back. you know, and I'm not going to make this a spiritual thing, but it just felt really this whole woke thing that was going on with, um, you know, I don't want to like turn anybody off, but it is what we're just keeping it 100. You know, guys being able to play in girls' sports, kids being able to tell you in elementary whether they want to be Bobby or Bobette, and all these different things. It was it's just kind of crazy. So for me, it just felt invigorating having Trump reelected, and then to see, you know, even before he got in, to have the hostages released, to see him doing things right now with, you know, the border, with you know, all the things that he's doing as far as, you know, the 3-letter agencies. I mean, this guy's like, hey, you're not showing up 2 days a week to 2 days a month, 2 days a month to work. I mean, he's really setting a tone, and it's like I've got goosebumps talking now just because it feels amazing to have such a powerful person. And it's crazy because as you know, as we got that announcement that he was going to be reelected, I started doing a lot of research, and I've always been a big fan of Trump's from The Princess and everything else. But I started really looking into some of his old school videos, like with Johnny Carson and all these people back in the day. This dude genuinely loves this country, man, and that's really my feeling about it. So, and then there was a little bit of a rumor that there's some people in Congress that are talking about possibly trying to change the Constitution where maybe we can have a third term with Trump. I mean, good God, what's going on? So if anybody wants to take it away, let's go ahead and start with John Cena. You've had a relationship with the guy. You've done business with Donald Trump. There's a picture. If you guys look at our thumbnail, let's see if I can actually find it here. I'll show you guys. But if you look at the doggone thumbnail, John had some business dealings. Let's see if I can find it here with Donald Trump. So you guys understand that, and I know I've known John for quite some time. Actually, it doesn't even show the thumbnail. I haven't put it up there yet. So, John, just talk about your business dealings with Trump. What do you think of him as a person? And and just, you know, what does it mean as far as him being the president and in charge now? Talk to us.
Absolutely. So he's always just been a mentor, somebody who I've looked up to. Read a lot of his books, and you can see him up on my bookshelf. The first time I met him was out in Fresno, California. He was working on a real estate deal out there, looking to purchase a golf course. And
oh, that's right. I remember that. Yeah.
So Trump University was just a program that I purchased from him. So yeah, I've been reading his books and learning from the gentleman from early on, since I was 19, 20 years old.
Nice.
And the art of the deal, right? Since I got into business, I just want to learn from the guy. The guy's just incredible. And I got into real estate in my early 20s as well. And anytime you do anything in life, you want to learn from people that have had massive success in that industry. So that's when I started learning from him, was in the real estate space. But I mean, I think he's incredible. I mean, promises made, promises kept. I mean, you hear that floating around all the time, and he's doing it. The guy runs circles around 21-year-olds, right? And the guy is 78 years old. So it's just inspiring to me to see what he is doing to make this country great again. Because right before him winning the election, I mean, I was seriously considering moving somewhere else.
We talked about that. Yeah, you and I did.
Yeah. I mean, we were researching El Salvador and Dubai and all these different countries. I'm like, not just for us, but you know, I have a young son, and he's just 22 months old. So I'm like, what's going to be the best life for him? You know, where are we going to be treated best? And I can tell you this, man. I remember on the night of the election, it's the very first election of my life, that I stayed up, and I was texting back and forth with Mr. McFadden, and I'm like, man, I mean, I just had the biggest feeling of relief when I heard that he got elected, because I was like, there's no way that I want to raise my son in a country where all this craziness is happening. So I feel excited and enthusiastic and optimistic about these next 4 years and beyond. It seems like the majority of the country is on the same page, and we all have the same mindset. We want what's best, right, for everyone. And I'm just excited for where we're headed, where we're going, where the crypto industry is going here in America. I mean, obviously, all of us are invested heavily in crypto. So just the things that are taking place and happening. I mean, them allowing banks here in the U.S. to custody crypto. I mean, that's just huge wins for this industry. And every time I see or hear anything, I always send a text for verification to Mr. McFadden, because there isn't anybody that I know personally that has as much knowledge, wisdom, and education on this industry. But I can just say that I'm fired up. I'm excited, and I'm excited to have Mr. Trump as a leader of this country and the leader of the world, really.
Right. I love it. I love it. And it's funny because before I get into this comment here that someone made, it's funny because John and I go back, like I said, 40 years. We're great friends. We were roommate, like I think twice. He's been a part of my entire life. And we've done businesses. As a matter of fact, when I used to travel around the world, he was one of the people that I traveled around the world with speaking. And we actually did before we knew anything about Trump, we actually talked about the possibility of relocating because we're working on some really big things outside of just having a traditional crypto portfolio. John and I are working on some multi-million-dollar deals with crypto internationally. And so we talked about, hey, we don't want to get abused and taxed and all these different things. So we talked about that. And as soon as we found out that Trump was elected, I remember calling just going, oh my God, we're good. So definitely something that we were talking about. Before we get into the other two, Nesforce and Josh make a comment, Leo asked for
James,
us to...
James, don't read it. Don't read it.
Shout him out. It's a troll.
Don't read it.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I didn't know that. Okay. So we'll go ahead and leave it alone. Thank you guys for catching
We got
on
you.
that one. So go ahead, Josh. We're going to start with, so let's go to Josh here on this. It's kind of hard to, we got almost 2,500 people now live on X. Shouts out to my man, Edo Farino as well. We're on his page as well. That's my brother. Shouts out to Versana and his brother Vendel and all those guys at Black Swan Capitalist. But this is live on my page and on Edo's page, which is probably why we're at almost 2,500 views now. So Josh, Trump, what does he mean to you, brother? What do you think he means to our country?
So overall, I stay clear of politics. I'm not a political person.
Okay.
I just straight up, I don't even vote. However, I will say for crypto and what this brings to the United States and the world as a whole with crypto and the doors that are opening right now for simplicity and buy-in from people. I think it's a really good thing. And, like I said, I steer clear of the politics just because it just gets too muddy, playing one side or another. But I definitely see it as a good thing.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. Like, it's funny when you look at I don't know if you saw the interview with Elon and Joe Rogan when they said prior in the past they were both Democrats, and I think we got to a point where this country got so bad that it wasn't even about Democrats and Republicans anymore. To me, I could care less about that title and what it means and what they think it means. At the end of the day, you could just see where there was this really almost like this evil thing that was going on politically, where it was about control, where it was about lying, corruption, and it was just sickening. And then they poked the wrong bear. They literally poked the wrong guy. And once he got into office, he said, you know what? If he, and I love Trump's humility as he talked. He was on the other day. I can't think of whose show it was on, but he was saying how his first term, he's like, look, I was just a real estate investor. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know. I had to learn all this stuff. I wasn't some longtime politician. He goes, but now I know what I'm doing. He goes, I know who not to hire. I know how to get the right people, and we're going to make America great again. So with that being said, Nesforce, your thoughts on Trump, unless you have a different same standpoint as Josh, and what you think he means to our country.
So I was first introduced to him similar to the other guests here, where I read Art of the Deal, and him and Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, were the really, really inspirational books in my life. I would not be sitting here if I didn't read those books.
Wow.
I'd still be working a day job. At the time I was teaching guitar. And then after reading those, I was like, well, I need to be doing this for myself. So I started teaching out of my house. And then I got into crypto during the whole COVID thing. I couldn't teach guitar person to person anymore. But as far as Trump being in office, what a relief, right? We went from this old guy who clearly was not running the country. A lot of really bad policy where we were taking care of other countries first instead of ourselves. It's good to see he brought in the military to take care of the border. There's serious problems there. Right. And look at what happened with Colombia today. I mean, he is not taking crap from anybody. And it's such a shift in sentiment.
Wow.
I'm relieved, to tell you the truth. I actually did election coverage. We did a 6.5 hour broadcast on X covering it. And I knew there was something going on in the media because Pennsylvania, they kept showing it at like 49% and 49%. And we were watching the Kamala campaign outside of some building. They had everybody ready to go. And then everyone left. And I go, Trump won. I'm calling it right now. Trump won. There's the only reason Kamala's people are leaving,
Right.
And it was such a relief, man. He's so much more competent than what we're used to. He's motivated. USA, baby. That's my opinion. I can't wait to see what he gets done. It's great for the crypto industry, right? All the American cryptos are going to do well. One thing I'm wondering in regards to that is if we're ever going to get access to some of these other exchanges that we've been blocked out of. What's your thoughts on that, 6-8?
That's an interesting question. As you were talking, I pulled up this article here. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it says U.S. President Trump suspends visa services in Colombia after President Gustavo Petro refused to allow deportation rights. I mean, this guy's not playing. I mean, he is playing chess. He's playing offense, and no defense, all offense, and he is not playing. He is focused, laser focused. So, I don't know how that'll work with other exchanges, Nesforce, just because of, here, obviously, without regulatory clarity, it's hard to kind of see us having access to other exchanges like that. I think right now we're just starting to get it right. So I think that should be really the focus of making sure that we have regulations here in the United States. Whereas if you go in, in other exchanges or start using other exchanges in other countries, who's to say that American investors are going to be protected from, scams and things like that. So I think that gets a little tricky. But yeah, so let's get into this next thing. I know you guys all been paying attention. Shouts out now to the 2,800 people live on X watching this thing. This thing is just going crazy. I appreciate you guys who made your way as we're approaching 2,900 as I'm speaking. Let's talk about Bitcoin versus XRP and why this is going on. I think for me, it's a little bit saddening because, my first introduction to Bitcoin was in 2017. It's the first crypto I ever heard of. A good friend of mine in business, matter of fact, a good friend of me and John, his name is Carlos Ray. You can actually Google the guy. He's like the Hispanic version of Tony Robbins. This guy is prolific, made tens and tens of millions of dollars over the years. And John and I had the privilege of speaking with him and being mentored by him. He gave me a call in 2017 and said, "Hey, James, I want to talk to you about this thing called Bitcoin." I said, "What is that?" He goes, "Well, how about if I put you on the phone with a guy who used to be a taxi cab driver and now he's worth $100 million. If it wasn't for who he is," and I told this to John immediately after I got in, immediately after I said, "Look, it's Carlos Ray telling me this." So he said, "I'll put you on the phone with the guy the next day." I called about 4 or 5 of my friends who were very well off. We were all business, they were all also business people. And I said, "What do you guys know about Bitcoin?" They told me what they thought. I did some Googling. And then I got back with the guy the next day and he says, "Well, what do you know?" I said, "Well, I Googled it and I asked a few of my friends." And he says, "Well, I'll tell you what, guy." He said, "I'll tell you what, how about you and all of them come to Spain?" He sent us a first class ticket to Spain. And we learned about Bitcoin together. And that was my introduction to Bitcoin. So I hold Bitcoin. I got into Bitcoin very, very early, like at, 3,000, 3,500, whatever it was. And so I'm not a Bitcoin maxi. I'm just a person who, likes the asset and got in early and it's gone up. And so, and even with XRP, I'm very passionate even with our Crypto4Life show, there's a time that we were covering a coin a day. Right, every single day over the last 2 years that we just over 2 years that we've had the show. But I started getting infatuated with XRP, not only as an investor, but just the story of corruption and Operation Choke Point 2.0 and ETHgate, and why were they going after this specific asset out of all the things that they could go after. And then the fact that I looked up and saw the asset at one point was number 1 for a short period of time, then number 2. Then they went after it. And I said, well, why would they do that? And as I started digging, I realized 4 of the developers of Bitcoin actually got together and created XRP to be better in every way. So I was like, oh my God, there's some kind of conspiracy here. So as I learned that, I started doing my research. I became one of the prominent people in this space. And to even validate further, there's a phenomenal documentary right now called Rick from the Start by Fruition Productions. If you guys want to go check it out, it's fruitionproductions.com. It was previously called XRP Unleashed. They changed it to Rick from the Start. This is something Donald Trump's looked at. This is something that Kennedy's looked at. This is something that JD Vance has looked at. I'm told from Jimmy Valley and many other people in this space that everyone in Trump's administration has seen this video. Thus, you've seen, Brad Garlinghouse and all these guys sit there with Trump and Stuart Alderete. But at the end of the day, I was very privileged and honored to be in that documentary. So just a big deal, super phenomenal. But so I am not, I'm not one of those maxis in Bitcoin, and I'm not a maxis in XRP. I just think everyone should be able to get along. Let me say this as I open it up to the floor of my guests here. I really think the problem with people with Bitcoin, this is just my opinion before I roll it to you guys, is that they're sitting at number 1. And they don't want to think for a moment that this asset that's got, I think when XRP was getting bullied, they were excited. Matter of fact, they talked the most crap on it during that time. Your Max Kaisers and all these different people. But in the same aspect, people don't realize that $8, I think it's like $7.80 or $8, it passes Ethereum. I think that's when massive FOMO comes in. And at $38, I think at the current market cap right now, $38 or $40, it passes Bitcoin, and they don't want to accept that. And so I'm not going to get into the strategic reserve, but let's just talk about why you guys think people in Bitcoin can't stand XRP, and for that matter, people who are in XRP who hate on Bitcoin, I think that's bad as well. And let me say this too, because I think the reason that most people get mad at Bitcoin or they hate on Bitcoin from the other perspective is because they didn't get the damn thing at a cheap price. If you'd have got Bitcoin at $1, you wouldn't be saying crap like some of these guys like Da Vinci J and all these other guys who, don't get me wrong, they're haters on XRP, but I think at the end of the day, it's just because people miss the boat with Bitcoin. And so because they're excited about XRP, there's no reason to go out and hate on this asset that has really led the way and gone through a lot of crap. Not so much like XRP, but definitely was hated on by many people in the industry. Some people to this day, like Larry Fink and, Saylor and all the guys who called it battery acid and cancer, they're loving it today. So let's take it away. And this time we're going to go backwards. Let's start with Ness first, and we'll come back around to everybody else. Go ahead, Ness.
All right. So I'm a firm believer in interchain. I think the industry is going to move up together, right? When Bitcoin does well, XRP does well, everything does well. In fact, you can look at the charts right now. Everything dumped together with maybe a 1% or less than that exception, right?
Exactly.
Now, having said that, what don't I like about Bitcoin? 55% of the mining is in China.
That facts. Right? Yep.
Do I think XRP has more upside potential? Of course. Bitcoin's at $100,000, right? But yeah, I'm a firm believer in interchain. I think the industry moves as a whole, but I'd probably be hanging out to more XRP than Bitcoin if I had to choose.
Yeah, and you know what I love about what you just said. And first of all, let me say this before we even continue on. I want to make a comment on what you said before we go to Josh and then over to John. There's 3,200 people watching live right now. I just said we were almost at 1,900. 3,200 people watching live right now on X. You guys do me a huge personal favor. If you're here for the first time, I see 3,000 plus people. Do me a favor, go over to our Crypto4Life with 68J. I promise you, we've got the most prolific interviews with some of the biggest names in all of crypto, especially in the XRP community. Guys, go check it out. We've been around for just over 2 years. We've got I think going on like 1,100 different videos from strategic investing, $70, $20, $10 cost averaging to $25, $50 cost averaging out. Great stories, not so great stories, but we also have some of the biggest names in all of crypto. Crypto4Life with 68J. Make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. Appreciate you guys who made your way. Now, what you just said, Nestforce, I think is pretty amazing because you talked about XRP. When you look at the top 5 assets, and I don't mean including USDT. I got it here on the top of my screen. Bitcoin 101,000, obviously dip right now. Ethereum 3,200, let's just say. XRP $3, and Solana 200, and let's say $40. I mean, where's the opportunity there? I mean, honestly, when you look at this thing, where's the opportunity? And I would dare anybody to challenge me, which coin has the most upside potential? And I love this, and again, I'm gonna get to Josh after this, but I love the statement that Brad Garlhouse made when he said it's like trying to push a basketball under the water. He goes, that's how this lawsuit, the SEC and Operation Choke Point 2.0 has been. It's like holding a basketball underwater. When you let that thing go, it's going to go crazy. You're talking about, not only Ripple's IPO and the thing that we're talking about with that, but you're talking about this lawsuit being canceled, maybe settled or dismissed, because what's one of the things that's going around right now with Mark Ueda, with Paul Atkins is yet to come, but with Hester Pierce and many of these other people, and what is the guy's name? The new Caesar. Sachs or something like that, isn't it? I can't think of his name right now, but he said they're going to dismiss any cases that are not fraudulent. Well, it's been determined that the XRP case is not fraudulent, so it's not when, it's just a matter of time. Then you got obviously XRP ETFs, you got the 1,700 NDAs, you've got institutional adoption. I had a friend of mine on here not too long ago. Her name is Shannon Thorpe, who was on a X Space at one point talking about some things that she knew in banking. She was very high ranking at Wells Fargo. She got caught up in a conversation on X Space, and she had talked about some of the things she expected. Even gave some price predictions of like $300 to $500 on XRP, and said why, but then retracted what she said and said, hey, I need to be careful. I don't want to get in trouble. Let me contact the people over at Wells Fargo, make sure I'm not saying anything wrong. And she was shortly after fired. How do I know that? Well, there's a post that she put up here on X. Let me see if I can actually find it before we go into Josh and those guys. Let me see if I can find this real quick. But she talked about, let me see if I can find Shannon's deal here. We just talked here not too long ago. Where's Shannon at? Shannon. I think this is pretty right here. So Shannon Thorpe. And so let me look at one of her replies, if I can find her replies here. So this guy right here, this guy goes, XRP, the next Bitcoin. And Shannon Thorpe, previously with Wells Fargo, obviously, unfortunately, she was fired. But she says right here, this is just the 16th of January. She goes, well, duh, Wells Fargo didn't fire me for no damn reason. And that to me is powerful as hell, because she said some things about what she knew the banking industry was doing in regards to XRP specifically. And that got her to lose her job. So with that being said, Josh, it's on you. Go ahead, brother.
Sure. So to echo the sentiments here, I think hating on one cryptocurrency and not another one,
that's right,
is not the move we should be making.
No.
You can't be where we're at today with any specific, unless it's Ethereum, just because of the ETH gate. If you can't be hating on a specific one without hating on another one.
That's right.
Because the founder, Bitcoin, was here to start, right?
Yep.
And we wouldn't be here today without it. We might be here in some other fashion.
Right.
But let's face it. You said something, Jay, about those that are hating on Bitcoin are hating on it because they didn't get in on it at a time when they could afford it.
That's right.
Just a side story here. My brother-in-law and I used to pirate music like none other back in the day with Napster. Okay.
Right.
And Napster used to have this ticker down at the bottom. Okay. And it would run ads. And one day in like 2009, 2010, we're watching this ticker and it says earn Bitcoin by mining. And we're like, what? Both of us. We're like, what in the world?
What year was this?
Now, in like 2009, 2010. So in 2008 they founded, right? In 2009 it went live with where people were actually trading it as currency, right? So because it went live in 2009, they needed people to mine it in 2009, 2010, right? So back then, my brother-in-law, huge into computers, built his own computers all the time. Like, he would have built the machine that would have done it all and set himself up for generational wealth. But we didn't know about it, right? For me to hate on Bitcoin today because neither of us took advantage of it back then would be silly.
Yeah.
Well, same thing with XRP. Just because we can get in on it now at a price point that is reasonable and can still set ourselves up for the future doesn't mean we should be hating on Bitcoin just because it's $101,000 right now.
That's right.
So really, I think that playing one against the other, just wrong play.
Yeah.
All around.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And it's so funny when you talk about, you and your brother's access to, Bitcoin. I don't know if I was specifically with John before we go into John right now. We were at a convention, and this was back in like 2000, I want to say 8 or something like that. And so when I say the first time I heard from Carlos Ray was in 2017, that was my first time someone actually coming at me. But we are at some convention, and in these arenas, they have different doors that people have different meetings. And I walked by, and there's this table outside of this door where a meeting had ended. And there's these white and orange cards, and it said Bitcoin. It had a little, it had like something on the back that like a little code that you could download. And I think you got like, I don't know what it was, but it was like a couple few Bitcoin. I would imagine at that time Bitcoin was probably worth a penny or so. It probably wasn't worth anything. But I remember looking at this thing. It was the cards were like somebody just took a box of cards and dumped them all over this table. They had fell. This is the honest to God truth on everything that I love. And I remember that. And so when Carlos told me in 2017, I was like, Bitcoin, like that damn card I saw back in the day. So it's just crazy that sometimes thing just doesn't work out when you think it should, or you hope it would. It works out when it's supposed to. So I'm grateful as all hell to even be in this space right now. I'm grateful all hell because, like you said, Bitcoin did pave the way. It paid the price. This is why we're here. There were things that were created. I think the second crypto ever created, from what I understand, is XRP by the developers, three of the developers that were involved with Bitcoin. So one being Jeb McCaleb, one being I can't think of the guy's name, Arthur Brito, and the other one being David Katz or Joe Katz. So with that being said, let's go over to John. Seeing John, your feelings towards people, Bitcoin hating on XRP hating it. It's just sad. And let me say this as I give this to John. We're Americans, or regardless of where you are around the world, guys. Isn't this about doing what's in the best interest of our family? Isn't this about financial freedom? Not sitting here talking. I mean, it seems like in our history, we always fight. It's like when people are going to the same mine and we're trying to kill each other over gold or diamonds. It's just ridiculous. Everyone's going to win. But go ahead, John, your thoughts on that, and the 3,700 people now watching live. Shouts out to you guys. Appreciate you guys in a major way. John, take it away.
Well, haters are going to hate, right? And it's that old school saying, divide and conquer. I agree with what Josh said earlier. I'm not a political guy either.
Yeah.
I'm a common sense guy, and I'm a do what's best for my family guy, right? So at the end of the day, we're going to do what's best for our family. And I love not only our country, but I mean, I'm a big fan of this planet, right? I mean, we all live here, right? So, but I think the rising tide floats all boats. That's right. I'm not hating on any crypto either. Like we're heavily invested in many different projects, right? It's just like the stock market. We're heavily invested in many different stocks. I'm not going to hate on this one or that one. I want them all to win. And my mindset is of a positive mindset. I love seeing people win. I love seeing companies win. I love seeing my family members and friends win. So at the end of the day, I think it's just silly. And I think it just goes back to divide and conquer. It's like the left against the right, the conservatives against the liberals, right? This cryptocurrency against that cryptocurrency because they want to give it a bad name. But at the end of the day, I think that cryptocurrency is for the people and by the people. And I think fiat is crap.
Yeah.
I mean, that, in my opinion, not just here, but everywhere, like everywhere you go. I remember buying some fiat back in the day from another country, right? When that country got taken down. I don't know if you guys remember the Iraqi dinar, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a piece of paper, right? It's debt. So in my opinion, I think that it's silly that people are fighting. And I think that everyone should just be cheering each other on.
That's right.
Regardless of what place it's in. But for our crypto holdings, obviously the ones that we hold, we want them all to win. And Bitcoin's one of them. XRP is one of them. So
that's right.
Different.
No, I agree with you guys. It's funny because a lot of people right now are, so concerned with, the price movement and things like, look, guys, if you think this thing is going to continue to go up to the upside nonstop, you're delusional. I mean, this is just part of the market. And then, people right now, again, shouts out to you guys. I definitely understand the sentiment around you. Well, hey, XRP right now is flashing right around $3, $2.98, $2.97. Might as well say $3. A couple pennies don't matter. But guys, you got to think, is this 49 cents we're talking about? Is this 50 cents? I mean, and this is not XRP. I know people are making, wow, we're going down. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin just went shed literally like a couple $1,000s. Same thing with Ethereum, down maybe a couple $1,000s. The whole market right now is down. Solana was just 260. BNB was, so don't. This is not an XRP thing. Just what I always try to tell people. When it dips, we dip just like that. We're so tied into Bitcoin right now until we're not. And I think with some of those things that I talked about earlier, like institutional adoption, if for some reason we're part of this, strategic reserve that's being talked about right now, then I think at some point, and the lawsuit ended and things like that, and some of these 1,700 NDAs being revealed, I think at that point, XRP starts detaching itself from the rest of the market. I believe a lot of ISO 20022 coins like XLM, XTC, HY, Algo, a lot of these coins are going to benefit from that. But I definitely think at some point, XRP is going to start detaching themselves. So with that being said, guys, let's talk about this rumor, or not even rumor. I hate to even use that word. I apologize for that. How about this statement or what was signed by Trump talking about, or actually this no crypto tax, or you see Eric Trump talking about this and everything else. No crypto tax on American companies and American digital assets. And as you guys look at, I don't know if you guys saw like on CoinMarketCap, I'm trying to figure out where it's at right now, but it shows where it'll actually have a drop down top American companies, and Bitcoin's not on that list. Matter of fact, the number one asset on that list is XRP. So let's talk about that, guys. Your thoughts on a possible. Well, let's before we get into the strategic reserve, let's just talk about the fact that no tax on XRP and other assets here in America. What do you guys think that means? I saw a very, very bullish tweet from Crypto, and he had in bold letters, I said it on my show today, he goes, are you guys seeing what's happening? Do Americans realize what's happening? No crypto tax on American assets. You guys this is a big, he goes, I think I might want to move to the US. So this is a big deal, guys. Talk about what you guys think that means to not only crypto, but to companies like Ripple and XRP and other American assets. Anybody can take that for that.
I mean, I'll go first. So just like that person responded to it, it's going to bring industry here. It's going to bring the best people in the industry to America, whereas the previous administration was pushing them all away, right? So again, it's just a huge shift in sentiment. And to expand upon the previous topic, with those top four, let's throw price out the window. Let's throw their history out the window. Let's say they're all starting a race. Who has the best use case? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana. I mean, Solana can do a ton of transactions, but it's pretty much just selling meme coins for those transactions. Yeah. And then you have XRP, by far the best use case in crypto.
Yeah, top American coins right now before the next person goes up. I pulled it right here. This is from Well Insider. USA coins with zero capital gain tax by market cap. XRP number 1, Solana number 2, Doge number 3, ADA number 4, Chainlink number 5, AVAX number 6, HBAR number 7, SUI number 8, LTC Litecoin number 9, Trump's new coin number 10, APT number 11, and it goes on down, Ondo, Algo, INJ, and then Pinju, whatever the heck that is. So, that's pretty crazy. Anybody else wants to comment on that?
Look, I think ultimately having no tax on a cryptocurrency. Sorry, my door just opened. Let somebody else take it. I'm going to.
No, go ahead, John. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, I think it's major. I mean, think about this for a second. I mean, look what happened in El Salvador. It used to be the most dangerous country in the Western Hemisphere. Now it's the safest country in the Western Hemisphere. Yeah. And one of the major attributes of that taking place and happening is them having a Bitcoin reserve, right? That's what their currency is backed by. So there's a major use case right there in terms of a country doing that, and then having no capital gains tax on foreigners that come out there on cryptocurrency. Like, people flock there like never before. It's hard to even find a place for sale because nobody that lives there wants to sell their place, right? It's incredible. And I have some friends that are from there. So does Mr. McFadden. We have friends from there. And I mean, it's just a whole different demeanor. I mean, they have the Bitcoin mansion out there. It's absolutely nuts, right? Of what has taken place over there in a small country like El Salvador. Now let's shift over to Dubai. I was just there in April for the first time. I'd never been there before. And I can't tell you how many other entrepreneurs that I met that renounced their citizenships from all over the world, from like Australia, from England, from Ireland, from all these different places. And I asked them, I'm like, well, why would you do that? Well, they're like, ever since COVID, everything's been crazy and all these things that they were forcing and mandating, they're like, forget this. I want to come to a country where I'm not getting taxed at all.
That's right.
0% tax. And they're like, it's progressive, it's safe, it's this, it's that. And I'm like, wow, like that's incredible. And then just seeing what has happened to that country as well out in Dubai, right? In the UAE. I'm like, that's just, it blows my mind at how much money and how many people relocated and got their citizenship there because of just that one move. So if that happens here in America, game over. Like we already feel that this is the best country on the planet.
I mean, John, that started you and I conversation.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and if they're going to do that here now, like, why would we ever go anywhere else? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm fired up and I'm excited about it.
Yeah. And going back to Josh, to add on to that, you said, the importance of what Trump did. I mean, he came right in and said, and that's what I love about this guy. He's not just saying things. Some of these guys campaign and they say a whole lot of crap and then they get it and they don't do anything. He came in right away. In his first 4 days, people said he did more in 4 days than Joe Biden did in 4 years. And I mean, and so that move with zero tax on American companies and assets. I mean, that's so freaking prolific. Yes, that puts us at the forefront of everything. And then, one of the things, one of those controversies, Josh, as you take the mic back again, is people are saying, okay, well, if this list that I just showed you guys, right, which is, these assets here in America won't have any zero capital gains tax. Well, what happens with the assets that they're saying now will have maybe 30%? And well, if Bitcoin's not an American company, will Bitcoin have a 30%? So I mean, that's and I think that's what's got a lot of maxis pissed off right now. Josh, go ahead.
Yeah, I just echo the voices here that saying exactly what I'm thinking is that, when you go and you take a something like Bitcoin or XRP, Ethereum that isn't tangible, but we can see the value of it, right?
That's right.
And we got a government agency that wants to take their slice of the pie, and yet and even like they do the same thing with stocks, right? They want to tax you on the unrealized gains from it, right? And you're like, I haven't even sold. How are you going to tax me on it, right? So to think that they, a government agency wants their cut of it on something that is, I mean, is so freeing, right? The ability to purchase something and put your money in something that's not accessible to somebody else, like you have access to it. To think that a government agency would want to tax that is just unbelievable to me. Yeah. And then to have somebody come in and say, hey, I want to make it so that those that have it don't get taxed on it, right?
That's right.
Well, it does benefit the wealthy, right? It benefits those that have lots of money and were able to get in early and have made millions or billions of dollars from it. But it also helps those that just want to get in with the little bit that they can afford, right? Because who wants to give up a portion of just the little bit that they were able to afford? Nobody wants to do that.
Nobody does. Yeah,
so to have this thought of the ability to have an asset, if you want to call it an asset, right? Because I mean, that's the whole argument. Is it really an asset? To have the ability to not have it taxed is amazing.
Yeah.
And to think of other countries, like what was said already, is other countries that are flocked to because they don't have these taxes in place. How much more so will it be, beneficial to everybody that's here in the U.S. If there's no taxes on it? So, yeah,
I love it. No, I love it. And I love the statement that Trump made the other day where he was talking about how these countries have just been beating us up for years. They tax us on everything. They got tariffs on everything. He goes, we haven't done, they've been taking advantage of America. And he goes, the table's about to turn. It just makes you feel so proud. Not that in some negative way, but just the fact that he's saying, you know what, enough of taking advantage of us Americans. And, we're back at the forefront, whether it's crypto, whether it's everything else. Let's talk a little bit about tariffs and what that would mean. He's talking about possibly getting rid of taxes here in America and being able to make it instead of the IRS, maybe the ERS, which is an external revenue service where we're taxing and we're getting money from tariffs. We don't have to sit up there, and more Americans can keep their money. You can see that he just did that. I think it was just yesterday. He was here in Las Vegas and he was talking and he said, no more taxing people on their taxes. I'm sorry. No. Yeah. On their tips, allowing people to keep most of their hard-earned money. This is something that he's for, something we've heard Elon talk about, the whole Department of Government Efficiency. Talk about that, guys. How do you guys feel? Will tariffs be as advantageous as he's saying it will be for Americans? We can start off with John.
Historically, it's proved to be, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have friends. We have friends that own companies that do hundreds of millions a year and billions of dollars a year, and as long as things are done in the proper way, it's going to be a win-win for everybody here. Now, there's a lot of people in this country that import from out of the country as well. Right. So it may affect that in some way, shape, or form. But I think we'll be able to balance it out with being able to save money on taxes. If there's a slight increase in prices on certain things, we're going to be making more money too. So right. I think at the end of the day, Historically speaking, it's always been a better thing for our country to have tariffs, and every other country does it. I lived in Belize, Central America for 2 years. If you wanted to bring a pair of Jordans over there that cost $100 in the United States, you also had to pay $100 at the border just to take them across the border there in Belize. So if every other country does it, why wouldn't we?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I know. I was in Ecuador for a little bit, and if you want to bring, let's say, your Hummer over, I was talking to some of my friends over there. I mean, they said the fees in bringing it over can exceed the value of the car. I was like, what? That's crazy. So let's go to Ness for your thoughts on that, brother.
So promises made, promises kept, right? When it comes to Trump, whereas, okay, remember when Joe Biden was promising student loan relief? Just to suck up all those votes, right. And then he didn't follow through on it.
Yeah.
So again, just such a change of sentiment. Now, as far as the whole tariffs thing, yeah, you have a power, leverage it to do what's best for the citizens, right? We actually have somebody that's serving the will of the people and is trying to do what, you know, he thinks is best for us. And it's just smart, right? We've been, I'm gonna be a little crude here. We've been getting bent over by by everybody all across the world for way too long. And he's like, not while I'm in charge, buddy. You know, and it's great to see so much got done. What the first 100 hours was ridiculous. I don't think Trump slept.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's going to be great to see the IRS turn into the ERS. I think he just fired all the IRS agents that Biden hired.
They said something. He made a comment yesterday, like the 88,000, and let's send them all to the border to work or something. I was like, what? This dude is no joke.
Yeah, they all can carry guns. Let's put them to work or something like that. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, you got to love them, man. Shouts out to the almost 4,500 people, 4,430 people that are watching live on X. Shouts out to you guys. Before we go on to Josh, you guys do me a huge personal favor. I've been in crypto since 2017. We've had this channel for almost 2 years and 2 months. Do me a favor. Go over to Crypto4Life with your boy James, AK68J, 25,000 subscribers, over 1,100 videos with some of the most prolific interviews ever. Crypto4Life with James, AK68J. Make sure you guys come check it out. Appreciate you guys who made your way. Josh, same question, brother. Well, no, was it Josh or was it John?
Yeah,
who's next?
That's me.
Josh. Okay, go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I think, tariffs, at least tariffs as a whole might not be the best thing, but the threat of tariffs, just the threat of tariffs make changes. Okay. Tariffs as a whole can end up increasing prices all around of those things that we import. And we get that. But just the threat of tariffs makes people want to work within the constraints of what the United States is asking for, right? Because they know those that are importing or exporting into the US know that if tariffs are imposed, they have to raise their prices, and that those costs are going to be pushed to the consumer. And then the consumer then makes the choice. Do I want to buy what's being imported, or do I want to buy what's local? Okay. And sometimes there are great things that are provided from outside of the US, especially when it's something that's bought in bulk and you can get it in at a cheap price. If you've got a business that's trying to thrive, and the only way you can do it is by importing a certain part or something, like, it's understandable that there is times that you want to be able to import things, and tariffs definitely can drive those prices up. But again, the threat of tariffs make it so that those that are supplying those things that are being imported into the US fit within those constraints. So I think it is important that we really take a look at the what is being tariffed and how it's being tariffed. And ultimately, I think it is a good thing, because it will improve the economy that's here and make things that are being imported a focus in being built here. And bolster small businesses that are here. Yeah, it'll bolster big businesses too, but it's important to, especially when there's people with entrepreneurial spirit that want to produce something. Maybe they don't have to go outside because it is more expensive now to bring it in. So
Yeah, I think I heard Trump's speech the other day when he was talking about how back in the day, probably before my time, that's the way the country was ran. It wasn't tax, it wasn't all these things, and we were just fine because what it did is, yeah, you're going to pay more money for things that are coming out of the country, but the things here in our country, it works the same way. And so, I'm definitely for whatever is going to be advantageous for us as Americans, and really to put us back at the forefront of everything. So with that being said, it was something very interesting that I read here from Crypto Navigator. He said, I think now that we have a crypto council, we need to get rid of a bunch of these trash coins that are sucking liquidity out of the coins that could actually be providing value. Now, guys, here's what I'm going to say about this. And I'm going to take this off here so we can actually see John here. And by the way, shouts out, my wife put KC won the game. So Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles will be in the Super Bowl, guys. Like it or not, that's the Super Bowl that's coming out. So shouts out. Congratulations to the Eagles, and congratulations to Mahomie, who Mahomie is like the new Brady. What can we say, right? The guy's just poised out of control. So, but I want to get you guys' opinion here.
It was
guys,
rigged from the start.
It was rigged from the start. There you go. That's go check out the documentary. I love it. I love it. Great little segue. But no, you guys do me, talk about how you felt. Cause I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be very honest. I'm super pro Trump. Love everything about the guy's mindset. Love everything about what he's doing for this country. I am super pro Trump. I don't know if there's a bigger guy. I was thinking about getting like a Trump tattoo on my left butt cheek or something, whatever. Okay. So point I'm trying to make is when that coin came out, I had mixed emotions. When that Trump coin came out, I had mixed emotions because it sucks so much liquidity from other things in the space and what have you. It jumped up to the top. And then you go back and you talk about, what does it really mean? And then, you saw some people talk about, well, it's just more like a novelty thing that's like in the top 20 coins. It's like, what the hell is going on? So, God knows that the old, I'm so glad he's out of here. Gary Gensler would have had a field day with that one, but obviously they launched it in a certain way. And I'm not saying I'm against anyone making money in this space. Obviously, if there's clarity to what it is or what have you, he's the president. God bless him and his family. But how did you guys feel about that? I was a little bit mixed, about it. I was so excited that Trump got elected. I was like, I don't care if he comes out with Donald Trump donkey coin. Who cares? I was just so excited the guy got elected. But just talk about your feelings about the Trump coin. And this time we'll go back to Josh Nesforth and then John. Josh, take it away.
Well, I've got mixed feelings on it too. Here's the deal. Like, I saw a tweet the other day, right after it was probably like 8 hours after it was released, and it said Trump was a part of a crypto. What was it? It was like a conference. Mm-hmm. Where he invited, or he was a part of this, and there were big names from all over the crypto industry, right? Mm-hmm. And they were all there, and not a single one of them knew that he was going to release this coin. Okay?
Wow.
So that says something, that anybody can create something that is a meme coin. I mean, let's face it, right now, there's no utility to it. And if there is, it's not being stated.
And Josh, let me add, I want you to continue, but let me add this. They just gave that one girl, was it Haktua, bunch of crap because her coin rug pulled. And if you think about the fact that this thing got like 70 something cents and then dropped to like 25 or 26 cents, it's like, and then the liquidity, when they said who actually took the money off the table, it's like, who got that money? Is that not kind of like, so it was a lot of controversy around what they did with the Trump coin versus what just happened to Haktua, but continue on.
Yeah. So, I can't hate on a meme coin. Right. If it's got, if it's not going to be a rug pull. I've been a part of rug pulls. Unfortunately, like I started a meme coin myself. And it was a great project. Right. Unfortunate. I won't even get into it, but that's a story for another time. Right. I'm a part of a meme coin right now, Chicago, right?
That's right.
As part of Crypto4Life, and I can't hate on meme coins.
That's right.
I wish I knew that it was going to be released.
Right.
Because let's face it, it grew from what it launched at 17 cents, 13 cents, somewhere around there, and it quickly moved super high. And like just the thought of taking advantage of something like that can change somebody overnight. I mean, like Jay, look at you and Shiba, right? And your investment in Shiba back in the day, and thinking, whatever, it's just what it is. It's another coin, and then overnight, boom, all of a sudden you're a millionaire.
I invested about a grand, and it got up to close to $1 million. It was crazy.
I mean, just thinking about what can be done in the space. When you've got a meme coin like this,
that's right.
As long as it's not a rug pull, as long as it's actually something that is a true meme coin, like something that's a novelty that really has no inherent value,
that's right.
Other than everybody wants to own it, right? So, being that it got released, the timing of it was perfect. I saw somebody in the chat said Trump didn't know either. I mean, it's entirely possible that he didn't know. Who knows? I mean, but
did you hear his comment when he was doing this conference, and I can't remember exactly who he was in front of, but I know there were some pretty prominent people, and they said, what about Trump coin? And he says, what about it? And then he says, yeah, hey, we launched it. And they were like, well, it's done very well. He goes, oh, really? What has it done? They said, well, it's created billions. He goes, oh, well, that's not, I think he was with those two guys that were getting ready to invest in AI. And to some degree, it didn't seem like he really had the knowledge of the numbers, like he, that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Anyways, that's my thought.
Yeah. So, I mean, and again, this is one of the reasons that I had a hard time when I was approached by a friend of mine who's a multi-millionaire. Shouts out to Mike O. He owns businesses here in Vegas and in California. And I had a struggle for you, Josh, Nestforce, and even John. I had a struggle with starting our own meme coin, our own community meme, which is called Shikaka, SHKK. For you guys want to know, we're audited, it's fully renounced. But we started a meme coin, and the reason being is because in my life I invest in movies. This is my third movie that I've invested in. I had friends who are celebrities. I played with celebrity games. I used to be a pro basketball player. So for me, I thought, well, what if I gave the average person, right, which is our whole slogan, for us, by us, what if I gave the average person the ability to be a part of those things, movies and celebrity games and different investments that we're making, whether it's real estate, whatever else. So we actually decided to go out there and start our own coin. This is it. You brought it up. I'm not going to, try to say, anything else. But look, guys, we have a hell of a team. If you look at our team, and again, I'm not trying to promote our coin. I had a hard time with coin, but once I understood what it was and what we were doing, and I bought into that because I didn't like rug pulls. And then a lot of these meme coins, man, they're sitting up there with these little emojis. You don't know what country they're in. So I said, look, if I'm gonna jump on this thing, so if you look at our ambassador team, we've got World Be Free, we've got Josh, who's a Ohio patrolman, we've got David, who's a Ohio patrolman, Josh, who's here with us now, a 26-year veteran with the fire department up in Sonoma County. We've got Reverend Rich, we've got Griff that worked for the government, but we also have celebrities. We have Ryan Lamar, Don Benjamin, Ray Frost, and so my point is that I had a problem with memes, not in the sense of owning them. I had Chicago, I got into Doge and all those, but I had a problem with being a part of one until I fully understood what it was, what we were going to use it for. And then once I bought it and I said, I get it. And as long as my whole thing is, as long as the foundation was solid, and as long as we had a solid team and we had a solid mission in what we were doing, I was all in. And so we started about 6 months ago. It's been phenomenal. And so we're really, really excited about it. But anyway, so let's get back into, now let's talk about the strategic reserve, guys. What happens? Now, I know there's a lot of tension right now from the Bitcoin community as far as Bitcoin, because obviously at one point Trump did say, we want to, what if Bitcoin could get us out of debt? And, we want to be the crypto capital of the world, right? But now as you see things that he signed and orders and things that he's put in place, it doesn't say Bitcoin, it says crypto. And so you guys have seen these pictures going around with Ripple's CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, Stuart Alderetti, and there's other people. Like there was a comment that Michael Saylor said today, hey, I would like to advise Trump. And people are saying, well, it's great to, want to sit at the table, but there's some companies right now that are sitting at the table. As a matter of fact, I believe Ripple sat down and met with Trump 4 times, once during his last term. There's a time before that, once this summer, and then they just had dinner with the guy where they still already went up and put something like we just had beef bourguignon or whatever the hell the name of it is. So let's talk about the possibilities if we see a strategic reserve that actually includes, maybe several cryptos like XRP, Bitcoin, and others. How do you guys think that's going to play out, or how do you feel about that? We can start off with John.
I just think it's brilliant. Again, I mean, that's what El Salvador did, and look where their country's at today.
And I think not to cut you off, but he just actually set up a meeting with El Salvador's president, which tells you Trump is trying to figure out what the hell was he thinking during that time process, right?
I just think it's smart because we don't have a gold reserve here, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is the direction the world is going in, which is digital.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it just makes sense to be at the forefront of it.
That's right. No, I love it. And to answer this gentleman's question here, no, my partner who actually brought the idea to me, the whole Chicago idea. And it's funny, sometimes things start from the stupidest things ever. If anybody's ever watched our show, let me tell you how this whole thing started. I felt bad about talking about projects. Right. I remember a couple of times I said something about a project. I think it was like Pepe, and people just were so pissed. So instead of doing that, I thought about this old saying that I heard Jim Carrey say way back in the day in this movie, and we spelt it different. But instead of saying shitcoin, which is something everybody said, I said Chicago. So instead of downplaying people's coins or projects, I would say, hey man, a bunch of these people out here putting out these Chicago coins or whatever, and that's how it actually started, which is kind of funny. So to answer your question, and Josh just add, I think this person right here was asking, is it on the first ledger? No, it's actually on Base, which is super cheap, and that's the way we decided to go with it. And so we've talked about maybe also putting it on first ledger as well here possibly in the future. I'll have to discuss it with our ambassadors and with Michael. Either way, thank you to the over 5,000 people watching live. We'll appreciate you guys in a major way. And so with that being said, I think Josh, it was on you.
What was the question again? Sorry.
It was a strategic reserve. What could that mean for this country? Having assets like XRP, Bitcoin, and others. I'm not sure what assets are going to go in there, but there's a lot of speculation right now that XRP will be at the forefront.
I mean, look at the adoption from all the financial institutions right now in the background. It's huge, and it wouldn't make sense for the U.S. government to not tax it and then not hold it, right? So if they're going to allow crypto to be as easily accessible as it is meant to be, then it makes sense to stockpile a certain amount of it and keep it in reserves. That's my thought.
Very interesting. I like this post that I saw here before we go to Nestforce here. It's by an ex-member Bree. She says the ultimate goal, XRP as a world reserve digital asset. Rumors suggest that the U.S. may take a major step by adding XRP to a strategic reserve. This would legitimize XRP in the eyes of investors, institutions, and nations, signal to the global market that XRP is stable and secure, help clarify its legal status, giving regulatory certainty. Such a move could spark other countries adopting XRP for reserves, cross-border payments, et cetera, accelerated bank adoption worldwide. I think a lot of this stuff, those 1,700 NDAs that are in place in S-Force, I believe that's some of the things that, like Shannon said, she might have spoke a little too early, which cost her job. She actually posted that. So I think there's something very, strategic happening within, like even Bank of America. You see their CEO came out and talked about their relationship with Ripple and XRP. So, you got Wells Fargo, you got Bank of America. What's going on here? What do you think a strategic reserve means to this country and possibly to the XRP holders?
So I really like the idea that they're going for diversity with the strategic reserve, right? As we've all seen, going all in on one project is extremely risky.
That's right. So
it's a lot safer when they take that route. And it's interesting because I think we're seeing Donald Trump learn about crypto in real time, right? Because initially it was, okay, I'm really into Bitcoin. Let's do a Bitcoin strategic reserve. Then he creates a meme coin, and there was a blunder. The tokenomics were really weird. I want to think somebody who was experienced wouldn't have let those tokenomics come out, right? Yeah. And then releasing Melania 2 days later, it was a blunder, right? Yeah. I don't mean to pick on the guy. I love Trump, but they could have handled that better.
Well, some people say, not to cut you off, some people say Melania kind of hurt Trump. it hurt the Trump.
It
hurt
100% hurt Trump.
Yeah.
That's when the dive happened, right? And it really hasn't recovered since. Either coin. It hurt both of the tokens. So I think we're seeing him evolve in the crypto industry in real time. And then, after that, it went from Bitcoin to, okay, now it's going to be crypto in general. So hopefully next week he'll be even smarter, right?
Yeah.
And the other thing I want to talk about too is World Liberty Financial. The Trump family is starting a crypto platform, right? So I hope there's no conflict of interest there. I want to say his sons are the one running it, not him. I don't think he can be involved. That's also why the meme coin came out before he was president, because there'd be some legality issues there.
That's right.
So yeah, it's just like I said before, I think we're seeing him learn in real time, and it's going to be interesting to see where he's at in a week, in a month, in a year, etc.
Yeah, shouts out to Nestforce. Somebody said, "Wait, Nestforce, the person that I always see on 68J Live's chat." Yes, Nestforce, the man, the myth, the legend. He's here now. Let me ask you guys this, Josh. We're going to start with you. Let me ask you this question. There's a lot of rumors about China having 55% hash, of mining and all these things with Bitcoin. How would that look to only make Bitcoin as a U.S. Strategic reserve? I'm not saying that's the case. And you put all your put everything in this asset that again, I know there's rumors that it could be these 4 guys that worked on it. There's rumors that they worked with Satoshi through email and then he just went off the grid. There's rumors he could be, not alive. There's what all these different rumors, right? The government knows who they are. But at the end of the day, if we can't identify who this person is and what country, obviously Bitcoin is not listed in the American crypto assets. We don't know if it's a China coin or a Russia coin or whatever the case may be. How could we put ourselves and our country in a position to have that asset be the only thing? I mean, how does that even sound like that's even possible to put all our eggs in one basket, and especially in something that, if Trump is saying, let's make America great again, how can we bet on something that we don't even know who started it and where it came from?
Sure. I think transparency is a huge asset to the crypto community. Yeah, I understand that Bitcoin was the founder of everything. It's really difficult to put a finger on a company or I don't even know what to call it, because they're not even a company. The founders. It's really hard to put full trust in something when you don't know where it came from. Meme coins aside, right? But a utility such as Bitcoin is to put 100% trust in something. Really, anything that we invest in, you can't put 100% trust in it, right?
That's right.
But when it comes to utilizing it for strategic reserve, if you don't have the full picture of where it was made, who made it, how, a full vetting, if you will, I could see the difficulty in naming it as something that would be part of that strategic reserve. That being said, you also have to be able to diversify that strategic reserve and include other cryptocurrencies, because it would be just like investing in gold, right? So everything, gold and silver are the foundation of the financial system right now. The fiat system is, if you don't have gold and silver to back up your fiat, then really you don't have anything, because the value comes from that gold and silver. Now, with that being said, if you only hold XRP in a federal reserve, and all of a sudden XRP and Bitcoin flip, and then they decide to flip again, and now XRP is down for whatever reason and Bitcoin's up, well, your value just went away. So if you diversify a strategic reserve with multiple cryptocurrencies, I feel like you're going to stabilize that strategic reserve versus holding all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you, but I also think that once those 1,700 NDAs are released and you have institutional adoption, and
Yes.
so people need to understand what that means. Like, XRP is not going to go up because you and I decide to buy more
No.
XRP, or we win the lottery, or Michael Saylor or Kathy. I mean, that would help, but institutional adoption, guys, that's when it becomes so rare that you might not even be able to get. There's been rumors where if that happens, trying to go get XRP off an exchange may be almost impossible to, almost impossible for people to do, because if they start buying up all the XRP, all the asset, the average person like you and I, if we sell our XRP, it might be hard. And there's even been rumors, I don't know if you guys saw this, where they're saying there could be some kind of law passed or some kind of ruling in regards to controlling XRP for what is needed. How do you think those things might play out, Nesforce, based off of some of those things that have been kind of going around with rumors about maybe something like that happening?
So that's where the diversity comes in, right? And it's a smart move to go in that direction. You never know what's going to happen.
That's right.
And yeah, if there's a law passed somewhere, I mean, even outside of our country, right? Crypto is international, it's decentralized. What
That's
if
right.
every other country in the world decides that they don't want to use it?
Wow.
Well, now all of a sudden they're attacking our reserve.
That's right.
Right. So you have to think of all those angles of how could this go wrong, and nothing's perfect.
That's right.
But that's the approach I would go with mentally. Looking at that is that's why you diversify. Or Bitcoin. Let's say China owns 99% of the hash rate, and they decide to shut everything down and then attack us with an EMP. Or it could get wild. I'm being a very, very hypothetical.
Hey, but you're just throwing it out there, yeah.
Yeah, but you get the idea. So that's what comes to mind with that question.
Wow. John, anything you want to add to that?
I just echo everything you guys said.
Yeah. I mean, no, really. I mean, it's one of those things where, things that make you go. But I do believe that if we do see, these things play out again, we talked about the case getting dismissed, very bullish. We talked about the 1,700 NDAs. We talked about institutional adoption. I do really believe that at some point, XRP detaches itself from the rest of the market, especially based off of the adoption that it gets. And I think then you got RLUSD and how that could possibly help with the price and XRP involvement with various things. So yeah, I really do believe everyone had really good points on that. Let's talk about predictions now. Brett Garlinghouse just came out with something here not too long ago in regard to, but actually before I could get into that, let's do this. What do you guys think this right here means? And I know there's some people that want to know this. What do you guys think this picture here means when Brad says great dinner last night with the real Donald Trump, and then yes, Stuart already went on to say, great beef, whatever. And what do you guys think this means when you see a picture like this? Anybody can tap in.
Bullish, one word, man.
He said bullish. I love it. So that was a picture, and then also we had this picture here with that Chad put out. It says, if you know the real significance of this photo, then you know how deep ties are with Ripple. If you go down a little bit further, this is all recent. You can actually click right here, and it shows back in 2018 during Trump's last stint as president. It says Trump officials formally meet with Ripple. So do you guys think this is bullish? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Head nods.
Nods.
I guess we all agree, man.
Well, let me ask you guys this then. I think everybody's kind of in the same mindset with that. What do you guys see this lawsuit as far as, do you think this is something we're going to have to wait till Paul Atkins comes in? Do you think that Mark Ueda and Hester Pearson, these guys will, along with Trump's new crypto Caesar, will dismiss this case, or you think we'll be waiting all the way till April for this case to get resolved? I know some people said we can see it as soon as the next week or so. Thoughts on that?
I sure hope so. The sooner the better, right? But the market's not going to move until they get that confirmation. Well, we don't know that for sure, but it'll certainly be a catalyst. And the confirmation is really what's going to make people go, okay, they're like throwing my money at that,
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think that, once we get some kind of validation or confirmation, like you said, that it's dismissed, it's over. And the only thing that makes you feel really bullish about that, instead of just hopium, is the fact that the statements that have been made by Mark Ueda, Hester Pierce, Cynthia Loomis, and many others in the space, saying that any fraudulent cases or cases that that lack fraud will be immediately dismissed. Don't know the time frame on that, but what do you say about that, Josh? You think that's pretty bullish?
I think it's bullish. Yeah, honestly, like with this this whole thing with the shoot, I can't think of the lawsuit. I think this whole thing is it's so amazing how much the market is affected by the news that comes from this. Like
Right.
the tidbits of information that we get about, oh, it's gonna be, a win for Ripple, and then all of a sudden this thing just blows up. Well, right now, if you're looking at the charts, man, it's going pretty steady, right? For the last what 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's been on a small decline, but for the last 2 weeks, it's been pretty level. It's just waiting. It's
Right.
waiting,
Yeah.
and as soon as that news hits, man, it's gonna go up. And honestly, I thought when it hit $3 that it wasn't going to go much lower than that. I feel the way that I feel the way that it has just followed that $3 line and just above. I would say that maybe 275 is our new floor. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's bullish for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think there's like I said, several things that could come out. XRP ETFs, we saw what that did to Bitcoin. Case gets dismissed. There's so many things that case gets dismissed, and all of a sudden all these partnerships start getting revealed. There's just so many things that I think XRP has going for it that a lot of other assets don't. Like there's some people still trying to figure out like what's going on, like what is Cardano used for, like what news do they have, or Solana, like you said, memes. Okay, what else do you guys got going on? So it's kind of like everybody's waiting for that Hail Mary. Okay, what if Trump says, as part of strategic reserve? Okay, even without that, Ripple has so many, or XRP has so many amazing things in place that could send this thing to the moon. But when you talk about 5 or 6 things, guys, that's I don't know if there's any other asset that has 5 or 6 like life-altering major things that are in place that could explode this thing. I mean, it's almost like it reminds me of the damn movie Fast and the Furious when they had those little NOS containers on the back of the damn cars. Any one thing can send this thing into into space. John, your thoughts on that?
Well, I echo what they all said again, and you. I mean, obviously, I wanted to be over with sooner, and I understand exactly how it feels to be bullied. And I've been sued before for $41 million when I left the company and went to a new company. And this was just 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So obviously not to the level of what has happened to XRP and having the government target you, put a target on your back.
Right.
But I personally believe that with the current administration that they're way more common sense. And I believe that they'll probably end it sooner rather than later because of the Department of Government Efficiency. They're not going to want to waste any more money on another witch hunt in this industry, in my opinion. And Trump promises clarity within his first 100 days in office. He's going to clarify exactly what a security is in regards to cryptocurrency. So I personally believe that it will be over sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I agree with you. Go ahead, Josh.
I just want to point out there's a comment in the chat from KG. Says we've been spoiled with all the recent price jumps that the last 2 weeks feel like an eternity, and it is so true, right? I mean, this is the thing with cryptocurrency. If you have doubt, if you buy into FOMO, man, cryptocurrency is not for you.
That's right.
If you do not have an iron stomach, this is not for you, because when things like this happen over the last 2 weeks and it feels like forever, imagine the people that have been buying into this since its all-time high and it dropped down to 25 cents, right? And talk about an eternity.
That's right.
Talk about an eternity.
Oh my gosh.
So when you talk about the last 2 weeks feeling like an eternity, oh man, this is cryptocurrency.
Yeah. No, and what a great point. 2.5 months ago, XRP was at 49 cents. November 3rd, I think it was when I looked up on the chart, November 3rd, 2024. And people don't realize that when it had that big 57,000% jump to $3.84, there was people buying all the way up, and they still haven't recovered yet. You know, a lot of people say, oh, the new all-time high, we already hit 340. No, it's actually 384. And so for people who've waited 3.5 years to try to break even, just break even, right? For a lot of people that just came into the space or they're getting impatient, I think, I think it's ridiculous. I think, but then I also go back to think about, will we see 25 cents again? Will we see 50 cents again? I think it's very unlikely unless there's some kind of crazy black swan event. And can that happen? There's always a possibility when you talk about the implosion of Tether. I just think that now, I mean, and so here's the thing, you know, I always said that one of the biggest things that we would face would be maybe the downfall of, let's say, Binance. And you saw what happened with CZ and all those different things. But I think the big thing that we saw besides that was the whole FTX corruption and everything that happened with Sam Bankman-Fried and how that took Bitcoin back down to 15,000. And then all of a sudden, all that stuff happened with Binance. It really didn't matter too much. It was like a small dip and it popped back up. I think as we, especially right now here in America, as we're getting more and more clarity, as we get more and more adoption for these digital assets, as we have now for the first time ever, an American president saying we're going to be at the forefront and he's doing everything possible, I think those dips will be less and less impactful. I think if something happened with Tether, I think that right now the world is starting to dismiss Tether. There's actually been some things going out right now where certain exchanges, I know the UAE and some other places have, they've got time lines, like certain dates that they have to, Tether has to be delisted off of certain exchanges. I've even seen things come up with Brian Armstrong say, hey, if we get the same things that are presented to us, we have no problem with this delisting Tether. So I just think that we're at a time now, you see RLUSD and other assets that are or things that are in place, I think it's going to be less and less of have a less and less of an impact on the market moving forward. So with that being said, guys, let me see if I have any questions from the before we get up out of here. We're just over an hour. We got 55, almost 5,600 people watching live. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys, if you have any questions, let me know before we get up out of here. We'll try to answer a few questions that anybody has. In the meantime, guys, do me a personal favor. Go over to our Crypto4Life with 68J YouTube channel. Been out for about 2.5 years. Phenomenal. Some of the greatest interviews ever, guys. You got to go back. Linda P. Jones, all these phenomenal people in the space, from Brad Kimes to Jimmy Valley to many others. But any question that you guys might have that we may be able to answer before we get up out of here? Anything that you guys want to add before we get out of here? Anything at all?
I got a quick question that I'd like both of you to answer if you can. Do you think we're going to continue to follow the 4-year cycle, or have we hit the super cycle?
A lot of people, so I'm not going to sit, there's a lot of prominent people in this space, big names in this space, that feel like we could be entering into a super cycle, especially with all the bullishness that's happening right now in the United States with Trump, with, the strategic reserve, some of these assets. Obviously, people outside the country and their assets may not feel the same way, but I think this is just the narrative in of itself is going to be huge. I think that if we see this case gets dismissed, I think if we see certain things happen in regards to ETFs and other things, and I do believe that if we see a lot of positivity here in the United States, I think other countries, I think what's going to happen, honestly, and I've seen a lot of people talk about this, how the way that America right now and Trump is handling crypto assets and even Bitcoin and other cryptos like XRP, I think he's very bullish on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other things. So as that happens, I think what happens is that competitive nature kicks in with other countries, because see, first when countries like El Salvador started, they were like, oh, this dude's crazy. We're not doing that. And then other countries started, but America is the country. It is the country, the greatest country. And I don't mean to be biased in that, but if they do it, now what happens is, oh, screw that. Trump think they're going to be at the forefront of crypto. And so all this stuff starts happening. Remember, a lot of these guys can go out there and start buying as much Bitcoin as they can. And if they start seeing XRP move, if Trump does something with XRP and the strategic reserve and maybe some kind of partnership that everyone's kind of thinking that might happen in the United States, guess what? You think people are going to sit by and just watch XRP go up, or do they start gobbling up just like they possibly will do with Bitcoin? So I think that competitive nature in other countries will start coming into play. That's just my opinion. So yeah, I think we're entering. A lot of people feel like there will never be a bullish run like we may see here while Trump is in office, for sure.
Yeah, I agree with you, 6-8, because I don't know, just trusting my instincts, it doesn't feel like the last cycle, right?
No.
I mean, we should be peaking around May or June. I don't know. It just feels like it's going to go further than that.
Yeah.
But that's just my gut speaking, not my brain. So.
No, I think things are definitely different this time around. I think, everyone respects America, well, how would I say this? Everyone respects Trump because America hasn't been getting too much respect under the Biden administration. But I think right now they see how strong he is. I think right now what he's doing, Josh just said it perfectly clear with these tariffs. They're realizing, hey, this guy's not effing around. This guy is for real. We need to play ball. And Trump demands a certain amount of respect. He had it last time he ran. He's got it this time. And I think as countries see this, you can see what's that guy in China says, we were going to do 100 billion. And then Trump said 200 billion. And we decided 500 billion for that whole AI thing. I mean, people just want to be a part of. There's something that just happened in Saudi Arabia where the guy goes, we're planning on investing 600 billion in America. You think they were doing that with Biden? So all I'm trying to say, guys, if you understand the presence that Trump has and what he's doing to America, I think crypto is about to have a super cycle like we've never seen before, undoubtedly. So, and you want to know how amazing this guy is? He came out with a goddamn meme that ended up in the top 20 in 48 freaking hours. Yeah, he's respected. Go ahead. Anybody wants to say anything else besides that? Josh, John,
I'll share something. Yeah, I mean, I personally think that if you're not in crypto, you should get in it. And that's just my personal opinion. My wife and I, we invest in a lot of different things, mainly real estate, gold, silver, guns, ammo, land, gasoline. I mean, we listen to Robert Kiyosaki. He talks about the 5Gs. We invest in the 5Gs. But Robert Kiyosaki also talks about investing in crypto. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, when is there going to be another time in our lifetime where we're going to have opportunity to have these type of multiples in such a short period of time than in this industry? I mean, it doesn't exist in the stock market anymore. I mean, how many stocks would you have to invest into to get that one big hit? I mean, really, in my opinion, it doesn't happen anywhere else other than in crypto right now, unless you're hardcore gambling in a casino, hardcore gambling in the markets, right? And really over leveraging yourself. But I mean, to be able to DCA all day, every day till the day we die, dollar cost average into this industry, in my opinion, I think it's one of the smartest things you can do. And it doesn't take a lot to get started, right? I mean, you can start, you could limp in with a little bit of money and just take a little bit out of every paycheck and put that into your crypto holdings. So in my opinion, if you're not in crypto yet, I think you should get in my humble opinion. And I think later on, fast forward 5 years from now, you're going to look back at this moment and you're going to say, man, I'm so glad that somebody moved, touched, and inspired me to take action, because we're living the life that we're living today because of the decision we made 5 years ago, which I'm talking about right now. So that's just all I have to say.
Yeah. And what I love about John, you know, our stories intertwine. And I'll say this, hopefully it's inspiring to someone. When I got in 17, I took a chance with $15,000. When I moved to Vegas in 2021, John was not in crypto, or maybe it was like 2000, whatever it was. And John came to my house and I opened up my crypto wallet. And as long as we've known each other, as long as he's seen my businesses, even when he was too young to even be in business, he saw that I had businesses in California, throughout California. And then he became a prolific businessman himself. No matter what him and I did, I think the most realistic thing that probably got him to believe was in 2001 when I opened up my crypto wallet. He said, this can't be real. And so I say that to say that this is life-changing, guys. Take it from a guy who was on welfare. Take it from a guy who they doing special ed when I was young. You know, you can defy the odds, question everything, you know, and I make that special ed. I was just a badass kid. I used to fight all the time, which John knows better. I was a badass kid, guy. I'm sorry. But if I can do it, anybody can do it. You know, I carry a food stamp in my pocket to this day to keep me humble, to remind me where I come from. And then obviously it was my kids. So I always tell people, guys, the 5 things in this space, and before we get up out of here, is number 1, have a plan, and make sure it's a strategic plan, because remember, people who got on the Titanic, they had a plan until they didn't. So have a strategic plan, guys. Number 2 is do your own research. Number 3 is control those damn emotions. Don't believe that all the crap that's going on X. I would say maybe 80% of it can be crap. HODL is a model. I love it. John's got the Crypto4Life shirt on HODL's model.
Nice.
I love it. So number 3 is control your emotions. Number 4 is have a profit-taking plan. One of the things that I learned last bull run is I've seen people go to millionaires and then call me up and say, James, thousandaires. I've seen people who had hundreds of thousands of dollars to they don't even have crypto anymore. I've seen people who had 2 houses, a beautiful home, and 2 rentals and a mobile home. They lost all 3 homes and ended up in a mobile home trying to leverage trade. There's so many stories that we share on our show, guys. It's phenomenal. It's crazy. And we don't just talk about all the hype. If you go to our Crypto4Life page, we keep it 100. And that's there's a reason that we've gotten kicked off of YouTube three times. There's a reason that a lot of my videos to this day get banned, because we don't sugarcoat. We keep it a buck. We talk about real things that's happening in the space. Why? Because I was a guy trying to figure out if it worked in 17. And today, me and my wife are living the life of our dreams because of crypto, and it's only going to get better, as is John. So from the time that John and I got together up until I think it was his first 12 months in crypto, he had made just close to about, right around that $1 million mark as well. So it's real, guys. It's phenomenal. The things that we're doing in this space is amazing. We hope that you guys join our family. Anything that you guys want to add to this before we get up out of here, Josh, Nesforce, and or John?
I want to add to it. This has been the best crypto community I've ever been a part of. 6-8, you showed up in my YouTube feed one day. I popped in, threw in a couple comments. Everybody said, welcome to the fan. And now I'm on the show. Anybody who's listening is, if it's their first time or whatever, 6-8, I can tell you for a fact, is one of the most honest, accurate influencers in crypto, and tons of integrity. I'm just going to clap for you, bro.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. And that means the world to me, because, guys, if you guys get a chance, not only go to our Crypto4Life YouTube channel, but go over to our Telegram. I put an invite up earlier today to come on this show. One of the things that we do, if you watch any of our shows, and Nesforce, Josh, and John, you guys could attest to this, we welcome everybody that comes in. We talk to everybody throughout the show, and before I hit the button to go off, we recognize everybody on our way out. Recognition is really big for me, guys. Giving back is really big for me. You guys can go back and look when we first started. We were sending money to different countries. We had doctors and other people going out there giving charitable, we were donating to charities and everything else. So we're really big as far as giving back, taking care of our community, loving our community. We're only as good as our community. So if you want to get on, if you have a voice, I do everything in my power to get you in front of the screen. Maybe this is something you want to do as well. But in here, we don't hate, we congratulate. That's part of our motto. We've been doing it for years. John and I, for 30 some odd years, we've been on some of the biggest stages, motivating people around the world. And so definitely excited. And thank you so much, Nesforce. That means the world to me. Josh, John, anything you guys want to add before we get out of here, brothers?
Yeah, I just want to echo Nesforce's comments there. I won't get into Jay and I's story but too much, but just being able to sit down at a table and just have a conversation with Jay from the beginning as a down-to-earth person, and connecting on a level that is just, you don't find it these days in a not to put, James, not to put you on a pedestal of somebody who's, made millions and you got to be worshipped or something, but you don't find it in people that have a good financial, wealth. You find people that just turn their back, right, and don't want to talk to the lowly guys. And just to have that conversation with you and feel like you're on the same level really meant the world to me. And now to be a part of what you're doing, it really says something about your character. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Yeah, well, I love you, brother, and you and Dave are two big parts of my life now, and obviously John is my actual brother. He's my god brother. His mom's actually my god mom. But what Nesforce said really resonates and touched my heart, because he's a guy who got a notification from YouTube and jumped on. I appreciate that story, because Josh, he doesn't want to get into it. I'm going to get into it. I'm not going to get into everything, but I'll say this: we moved out. No, when I met John, when I reconnected with John last time in Vegas, and we did all that stuff that we were doing, my wife decided that she wanted to go live in wine country in Sonoma County. This is how me and Josh met. So we decided, after being in Vegas for a year, we went to Hawaii for a year, Vegas. This is all because of crypto. We moved out to wine country. I said, okay, if you want to go to wine country, let's do it. We went out to wine country for a year, and the first thing I did was Google crypto in this area. And when I Googled crypto in this area, I found a group of guys that had a little crypto project they were working on. That's what Google said. I hit the little button. It took me to their deal and said, hey, we're going to be at this winery. I drove to the winery, and I met Josh and Dave for the first time. That's exactly how we met. And these guys are now part of my family. I love these brothers. I wouldn't even have a Crypto4Life show had I not Googled what's going on in Sonoma County, because Josh and Dave actually set all this up. Yeah, the idea of Crypto4Life was mine, but I didn't know. I wasn't techie. These guys came over. Josh with his son. Dave had a newborn in a little newborn thing in front of his chest, carrying it like a backpack or something. And they came out and they set up Crypto4Life. They said, give us a credit card. They did it. And that's how we actually got connected. So thank you so much for that story, Josh. It means the world to me and all the, our journey. And that's what we have here with Crypto4Life and Chicago Coin, guys. It's really a family. I hesitated to start a meme coin, and I hesitated to start this YouTube channel because, like Josh said, I had already made it. I had already came into a lot of, very fortunate in this space. Let's just say that. But I always say money only magnifies who you are. Money only magnifies who you are. And so for me, I was very repulsed. I was very sick of a lot of stuff that I saw in the crypto space on YouTube. I was sick how people were giving all this advice and saying all these things when they looked like maybe they worked at McDonald's a year or two before that. I've been in business my whole life. I've been on some of the biggest stages. I said, if I can take and tell people and keep it 100 and show people what I've done, be very humble and show them what I've done and how I did it. We share everything. I've got people right now like Mike O, who was already a he says, James, I've made millions in crypto because of your calls. This is who we are, guys. It's sharing, it's loving. That's always been my motto. The greatest way to share and to help others is to love them. And so we definitely appreciate you guys in a major way. Anything you guys want to add before we get up out of here, guys?
Yeah, I'll share one other thing too, man. I mean, I've looked up to 6'8" my whole life.
Not just 6'8",
not just because he's 6'8", he's taller than me, but literally my whole life, man. I mean, he used to give me piggyback rides when I was 4 years old. Man.
Yeah.
My whole life, I looked up to him. I remember when I was growing up, even when I turned 18 years old, just seeing his success, owning all these car lots and detail shops and music studios and professional sports teams. You name it, he's done it, and it's inspiring to me. But aside from the business success, the success he's had in his personal life. I mean, the 6 beautiful children that he's raised, they're all successful. Who he is as a husband to his wife, who he was as a son to his mom and his dad. I mean, just who he is as a human being. I mean, he truly cares about people. I mean, we were recently even out in Mexico City, and he specifically just went out there because there's some people out in South America that are like family to him too, that he wanted to take care of. And it's just inspiring. Or even going to dinner. I mean, he'll pick up the tab for everybody at the table when we're eating Japanese teppanyaki. I mean, he really is who he says he is. Everybody that's watching this show, and he's an inspiration to me. And he walks the walk. I mean, he doesn't just talk the talk. Like, he really doesn't need to do this. He doesn't need to help people. He does it because he chooses to. He does it because he wants to give back. And I'll tell you right now, if you guys aren't tuned into this channel, if you're not following the YouTube shows, if you're not learning and listening, I mean, people pay a lot of money to get advice. I mean, I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars for mentors in my life, and for him to share all this knowledge, wisdom, education, to move, touch, and inspire all you guys, capitalize on it, and take action, because the only person that is going to stop you from having success in your life is the person that stares at you in the mirror. You guys literally just got to take action, learn from these individuals. They've already made all the mistakes, so you don't have to, right? When I got into crypto, I didn't think anything about it. I didn't want to be the expert. I said, let me just follow the leader. Let me just learn from the best. When I got into real estate, that's why I purchased the program Trump University. That's why I purchased Carlton Sheets program, No Money Down. That's why I went to Brian Buffini's workshops on how to get referrals. I mean, you just learn from the best of the best. If you guys want to learn crypto, you need to learn from the best of the best. So plug into this channel, learn from Mr. McFadden, because there isn't anybody else better in the space, in my humble opinion.
I appreciate you
for allowing me to be on the show today. And it was really nice to meet you, Josh, and Ness Force. It was an honor to spend some time with you guys this evening.
Thank you, guys. I have one more question. Can I ask you guys one more question, if you guys don't mind? There's almost 6,000 people here. Would you guys mind if I ask one more personal question?
Sure, go ahead.
And I'm going to start with Josh, Nessforce, and then John. How important is this moment? As a guy that came from welfare, as a guy who came from just some of the most horrific things, in my childhood, and doing all those things, and looking for opportunity, and begging for opportunity, and praying for opportunity, and trying to fight for opportunity for my 6 beautiful children and my wife, and having some success. But the success that I thought I had is nothing compared to what crypto's done for me in my life. How important is this moment to people? from doing research, being a great student. How important is this moment, guys? Because my mom and dad didn't have this moment. No one told them about Apple. No one told them about the internet. No one told me about Airbnb and Uber. How important is this moment to the average person to embrace this and take this moment serious? Josh, if you don't mind, just briefly, if you could talk about that.
I think technology with what it is today and the accessibility of information and being connected to people is like no other time in history, right? I think the ability to have access to things at your fingertips, right, and take advantage of it. This moment in being able to, you know, I'm not going to say that money is 100% of where it's at. Financial wealth to me is honestly, Jay, you mentioned it with your family and just being thankful for the things that you have money aside. That's the most important, right? Your family and the God that we serve and just really taking in that it is the most important. But making yourself putting yourself in a position where you're comfortable and you don't have to struggle, I think being able to take advantage of this opportunity is incredible. And I think that if you don't take the opportunity to just do a little bit of research and put a little bit of something that you can afford into this, the possibilities are incredible right now in this moment. You had incredible opportunity in 2009 when Bitcoin first got here, but nobody knew except for the creators. No, even them, they didn't know. I mean, look what they spent to buy a pizza, right? Like they had no idea what it was going to become. They had a vision, but they didn't know. But we know, we see what it can do. And if you just take a moment to just take it, at this point, it's not even a chance. You're not taking a chance. You're not.
That's right.
Especially with XRP, right? You know where XRP is going to go. Yeah. So even if you just put a little bit in and just wait it out, like you'll have the ability to be a little bit more comfortable. Some people, a lot more comfortable.
That's right.
Right? So take advantage of the opportunity right now. I think it's super important.
Before we go into Nestforce and John, let me just say something. You just triggered something in me. For a person who had a mother who had depression and that depression cost her life, we all chase money until we get it. And then we realize something, I thought being a millionaire was a big deal. And I'm not saying it's not, because, once I got to a millionaire status, now my thoughts process is to try to become, worth hundreds of millions, if not a billion. And the reason being is not for me. It's just when I leave, I want to change my children's future unselfishly. I told my wife, I'm not worried about this and that and everything else. We have all those things. It's my family. And so I say all that to say this. My mom died with a broken heart. And as I got older and I got money, there's one thing that I realized is the 2 P's: peace and purpose. Peace and purpose. And Josh, we talked about on our Crypto4Life show today, peace. That's really the true wealth. It's peace. You can have all the money in the world and have no peace. And I mean, think about how many celebrities that we've lost and people that we know that we've lost to not having peace in their lives. So that's what I would say. Nestforce is on you, brother.
So I'm going to sum up in one word: unbelievable, right? The opportunity right now is unbelievable. Even for the people who hate crypto, the people who are involved in it now and bringing the market cap up to a point where it's relevant are changing the world for the rest of them. Right. This is our out from the central bank fiat system, which is a system of slavery. We are all changing humanity for the people who aren't even born yet. That's how big it is to me, man.
It's so funny you said that. I still don't know how I feel about like AI in regards to like some of these things. Elon's talking about a robot that everyone can afford for $25,000 that can walk your dogs, grocery shop, babysit your kids. I don't know. Maybe I watched too many, movies with Terminator and war games. Maybe it won't come out to that, like, iRobot and whatever else where they turn red and go crazy. But I'm not really sure how I feel about that. But it doesn't matter because I'm invested in the technology. I don't know how I feel about the metaverse, but I'm invested in the technology. And so at the end of the day, it's sometimes recognizing an opportunity, whether you like it or not, and especially if that can put you in a phenomenal position financially for your family. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I share with all my family and friends, from my mom to my mother-in-law to my aunts and uncles and cousins and my older brother, my younger brothers. I tell them all, I'm like, just get in, just throw something in, right? Yeah. Because I don't want you calling me later saying, man, why didn't you tell me? Or why didn't you motivate me a little bit more to do this? Well, hey, I'm not here to convince you, right? I mean, this is you investing in yourself, right? Yeah. And to echo what everyone else says, I mean, I believe in the 3Fs, right? Faith, family, and freedom, and in that order. And I believe that your time freedom can come from making a wise strategic move like investing in crypto, in my opinion. I believe that's going to happen. I believe that this is the direction that the world's going in. I mean, it's been for a long time, right? When you say you spend $100 at a store somewhere, it's not like the bank goes over there with the $100 bill to hand it to the store. I mean, it's been digital for a long time. You put $100 in the bank, they lend it out 10 to 100 times, right? And they're making a ton of money on your money. This is just money for the people, by the people. And I say, get in it and invest in it. I remember growing up, another person who was like a big brother to me, his name's Scott, and he invested early on in Yahoo and Microsoft and just some thousands of dollars. And today he's worth over $75 million. I didn't have that same opportunity. I believe we have that same type of opportunity today with crypto.
Absolutely incredible. Yeah, no, for sure. And it's funny because you say that there's some very modest numbers that we're looking at, and those numbers come in. It could be just, it's like you can't even fathom it. But with that being said, guys, I've got some of the greatest guys I've ever met in my life. Thank you so much, Josh. I appreciate you, brother. Love you. Ness Forrest, appreciate you, my man. Love you as well. And John, man, you mean the world to me as well. My brother, little brother since 13. Thank you guys for being on. Thanks to the almost 6,200 people watching live right now. We'll appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys check it out. Now, some people say, where can we find everybody? You can first of all find me at James_68J. Again, that's James_68J on my X page. You can also find us by going to YouTube and looking up Crypto4Life, which your boy James, aka 68J, is right here. Crypto4Life. I believe it's at 68J_Crypto4Life. And then where can we find you guys? If you guys don't mind talking about whatever social platforms that they can find you guys.
My X is at Mad Kitten, one word, at Mad Kitten. My YouTube is at Josh Menzies. That's JoshMenzies.
Love it.
All right. Mine is at Nesforce1, NESFORCE, and then the number 1 on X. And I am also a host on Chart the Course podcast. You guys should all check it out. We have a great team over there. We cover a lot of crypto stuff, from like Cosmos ecosystem. We do a little bit of geopolitics. We got our fingers into everything. But really, I would suggest checking out the podcast more so than my personal profile. I just do a lot of reposting and stuff like that. But that's where the really good information is at. I've talked to so many project leaders. It's ridiculous in the past year since I've joined that. So there's some really great early information that we have over there. So check out Chart the Course podcast on X.
Love it. John?
You guys are going to laugh because I don't even do social media. I have it, but I'll say for the past 4 years or so, man, I don't really post much. I do go on there from time to time, but I don't even know what my handle is, to be honest. It's probably I'm saying or Cruz saying.
You and Michael are very similar.
So,
will that be? No, go ahead, John. What'd you say?
No, I said I apologize. I mean, I do have a lot of friends and family and stuff, and that's the only reason why I ever log in is just to respond to family and friends. But I don't post much nowadays.
I love it. Well, guys, look, we're going to have these guys back on. Look forward to us being live tomorrow. We typically go live 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, each and every day. Crypto4Life with your boy James, aka 68J. Thank you guys for being on. Thanks for the 6,200 people watching live on X. We'll appreciate you guys. Crypto4Life, Chicago Coin family, greatest families on planet Earth, EARF. Until next time, it's your boy James, aka 68J. Peace.